Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. We are here at the Southern National Motorsports Park, ready for tonight's Leave the Pack Super Series race at Southern National. not Nashville Fairgrounds like the top of the ticker says right there. I do apologize about that. But right now, these drivers completing their qualifying efforts. Mark Keedeman goes to the top spot in the number 2, but Brandon Elvis on lap number 1 going to the top of the board. He'll try and set up that high arc for lap number 2, or that final lap, lap number 3, I should say. We'll see what he can do. The key here at Southern National is to be as low to that white line as you can without hitting it, because if you hit it, it will mess up your lap completely. As Elvis works his way through turns 3 and 4, a little bobble off of 4, and he'll shut it down. Going to keep that first lap time of a 13:77, and right now it's good enough for quick time. As Mark Keedeman finishes his final lap, he'll end up in the 2nd spot. Now on screen, one of the drivers that went to victory lane last week in the All-Star doubleheader event, as Tanner Bethea goes to the top of the board in the 20. On his final lap around, a 13:74, a little bit quicker than Brandon Elvis in the 54. Gravel's final lap, a 13:91. He'll be 9th quick there in the 22. Zach Murphy in the 29 on the racetrack now. Murphy in the 29 picked up the 3rd place spot earlier on this evening in the Street Stock Showdown division. As he completes that final qualifying run, he'll be in the 10th spot. We've got one more driver left to take a time, and that is the number 80 machine, sorry, of Chris Smith. Smith now a 2-time winner here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. Both wins coming in the Street Stock Showdown division. Looking for his first super victory, second lap time. 11th quick with a 13:91 for Smith. As he finishes that lap, and qualifying will be over there. Tanner Bethea in the 20 machine going to the top spot. We'll see if we can't grab a word from Tanner Bethea. As we look at the left side of our screen, everybody complete with their qualifying runs. I do believe, unless we have a couple late entries piling in. And as we wait for Tanner Bethea to climb out of the race car and make his way to one of the voice chats to grab a word, we look at the field pretty close on times, about 2/10 back, all the way to the 13th spot of Adam Fulford. Then you drop off a little bit in those final 2 positions, but pretty close field there. A lot of good names throughout the field, including the driver of the number 1 machine who picked up his first victory here this evening. Earlier on in the Street Stock Showdown division, Godfrey picked up the pole in the first race of the week, or the first race of the night last week at Nashville. As qualifying has completed, you guys can see the qualifying results up on the top of your screen. The same 1/10 of a second all the way back to the 7th spot. As Tanner Bethea takes the top spot. We'll see if we couldn't grab a word from him before the start of the race. But we will take a look at our starting lineup here tonight. We're going to start him straight up. No redraw, invert, any of that kind of stuff here tonight. And Tanner Bethea in the 20 machine will roll off from the top spot. He'll have Brandon Elvis in the 54 to his outside. Elvis has a couple second place finishes this season. Still looking for that first win in the super late model division. Mark Keedeman will roll off third, Carter Russo fourth, and there is Tanner Bethea in voice. We'll grab a word from him. Tanner Bethea up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, quick time here tonight, Tanner. Making a rare start here in the super late model division. Quick time over a pretty competitive field. Same 10th of a second all the way back to the 7th spot. Obviously, you got speed. What's it going to take for 100 laps at Southern National tonight?
Probably just being consistent, saving your tires. This place tends to tear them up pretty easy. Just trying to stay in the lead and maintain the race.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you on your pole. We wish you luck, and hopefully you can have a good, clean 100 laps.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, that was your fast qualifier. Tanner Bethea up in the broadcast booth, and we'll continue with our grid rundown there. Starting in the 5th spot, it's going to be the number 04 machine of Caleb Thompson. Although, I do believe Thompson might have had trouble or asked for an EOL. Not sure what happened there, but Thompson to the rear on the start. Anyways, Austin Godfrey will roll off 7th. Brady Cox in the 6th spot. James Pileski 8th. Ryan Gravel will roll off 9th in the 22. Then Zach Murphy in the 10th spot in the 29. Chris Smith 11th. And then you can figure the rest of the field out behind as we are into turns 3 and 4. The pace car is off. We're going to work our way into the restart zone. The green is up and the green is out. We're underway here at Southern National. Into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. They are all side by side. Tanner Bethea trying to take the early lead into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis still right there on the outside lane, though. First time around, Tanner Bethea going to lead lap number 1. Mark Keedeman and Brandon Elvis side by side for the 2nd spot down the back straightaway. Carter Russo sitting in 4th right now, back behind. As we are clean through 2 laps, and oh, Brandon Elvis around in the 54. And the caution flag flies. Not sure what happened there off the start. And Elvis in the 54 machine looked like he might have tried to get back in line or gotten loose, one of the two. You see him up off the corner, and it looked like, yeah, that car just shot to the left. And around he went. We will be under yellow after 2 laps of green flag racing. Elvis in the 54 machine able to pull away after that one. He's able to stay on the lead lap as well. Adam Fulford down pit road in the 71. Not sure what could have happened to the 71 machine, but he has brought that car down pit road. No tires down pit road for these guys, and it looks like he has just taken a drive-through, putting himself at the rear of the field. Does not want to be involved in whatever may happen on this restart, as the field gets the 1 to go signal, and we will send them back green flag racing this time around. Now Tanner Bethea going to roll off next to Mark Keedeman in the 2 machine. Your points leader coming into this evening. A whopping 5 wins on the season already. As we work our way into turns 3 and 4, they'll wait for the restart zone, into the zone. We're back underway. Mark Keedeman with a great jump there in the 2 machine. He'll try to roll that outside lane down the back straightaway. Tanner Bethea trying to fight back on the bottom. Into turns 3 and 4, Bethea on the bottom. Keedeman up top. Carter Russo big time sideways there in the 21. And the caution flag flies out back. Big time problems in turn number 1. Not sure what happened. Brandon Kelly was around. Brandon Elvis as well. What happened through turns 3 and 4? And it looked like Chris Smith tagged Zach Murphy. Big problems for Zach Murphy there in the 29. Tough break for the 29 of Zach Murphy. Nowhere to go. I think Chris Smith just got loose up off the corner. Watch it one more time. Yeah, loose off the corner. There was contact through the center and nowhere for any of those guys to go. Brandon Elvis involved in the 54. And a lot of guys going to be coming down to pit road after that one. The 54 brings it into the box. Chris Smith down. Zach Murphy's race car absolutely destroyed. Look at the damage to the 29. And that will surely end his streak. He had top three finishes this week, but that definitely going to put the nail in that coffin, as the 29 machine is big time tore up. As the field gets the 1 to go signal, but the lights come back on as a couple cars are still getting caught back up to the field, getting lined up. So we work down the back straightaway. The 1 to go signal given back to these drivers. And we are back ready to go. Pace car drops to the safety of pit road one more time through the restart zone. We're back underway. A good start there from Mark Keedeman as he takes the race lead through turns 1 and 2. Tanner Bethea in the 20 machine took a peek to the inside of James Pileski there up off the corner. His nose is crinkled in a little bit there. Your pole sitter back into the 7th spot. As up front, Mark Keedeman out in the race lead in the number 2 machine. Brady Cox up the racetrack in the 76. He'll lose a couple positions there. He's down into turns 1 and 2. Jeremiah Woods having some trouble up off the corner. And Woods goes around off the corner and nowhere for Brandon Elvis to go. As Jeremiah Woods goes around in the 222 machine. We'll take another look at what happened there. As Woods went around on the exit of turns 3 and 4. And the 76 of Brady Cox definitely just got into the back bumper there. And around he went. That puts us under yellow once again. So far, we've had 3 caution flags. We are 20 laps into this one. Keedeman, your race leader. Down the back straightaway. Austin Godfrey in the 1 machine up 4 positions from 7th where he began this race. Brian Gravel up 5 positions up into the 4th spot from 9th. As the field gets the 1 to go signal, they'll double up down the back stretch. We're going to send them back green with 80 laps to go. We'll see if we can get some green flag laps in as the K-Cars, Race Cars teammates work their way through the restart zone. We're back underway. Mark Keedeman with the early advantage down the backstretch. Austin Godfrey and Carter Russo battling, and we have a caution on the back straightaway. Brandon Kelly in the 9 around. See what happened there. It looked like the 76 of Brady Cox just into the back bumper, and around went the 9. Nothing he could do right there. We will be going back green this time, single file. Tiedemann, your race leader. Gonna have a good view of this one. Trying to get some green flag laps in here. These guys having a tough time getting things settled in at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Granted, this track is pretty tight. Not a lot of racing room here. As we get the 1 to go signal, field working their way through turns 1 and 2. Tiedemann and Russo going to lead us back once again. And we'll see if Russo can get a better start this time, being lined up behind his teammate rather than beside. As we work our way into turns 3 and 4, into the restart zone, we're underway. Down into turns 1 and 2. Mark Tiedemann gets a good run down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4 right here. Everybody hopefully can make it through cleanly. Looks like we will. Lap number 28 on the board. A lot of caution flags to open up this one. Hopefully we can get some laps settled in here. As Mark Tiedemann begins to pull away Austin Godfrey, a good save right there up off the corner. This car looks very loose here tonight. For Mark Tiedemann, 30 laps in, 70 to go. And as the field went back single file right there, things beginning to change. A couple of drivers beginning to get spread out. As we get more green flag laps in here, this is where the field really starts to shuffle around, because we'll have more heat in the tires, and these guys are going to be wearing them out quite a bit more than obviously under caution. Tiedemann, your race leader right now, 1.3 second advantage over Carter Russo. Russo under pressure from Austin Godfrey. Godfrey in the 3rd spot right now. 2nd through 4th all right there in a line, or sorry, 2nd through 5th I should say. James Pileski right there in the 93. Starting to fall back a little bit. See him getting a little loose up off the corners. Tough break for your pole sitter, Tanner Bethea. He's brought that machine pit side. So tough break for the 20 of Tanner Bethea. He has called it a night. Here comes Brian Grable to the inside of Austin Godfrey. Grable way loose on the bottom. Good save there to hang on to that race car. Austin Godfrey in the 1 machine brings that car down pit road. He will call it a night as well. Tough break for the 1 of Godfrey. Lost that track position and did not have the run to keep it going there. So we are going to be 40 laps in this time around. Adam Fulford right there behind Caleb Thompson, reeling him in, trying to take over the 5th position. Laps really begin to tick away quickly here at the Southern National Motorsports Park, especially when we're green like this. Already 40 laps in. We are going to be hitting that halfway signal pretty quickly as we look back at the battle for the 5th spot right now. Adam Fulford on the back bumper of Caleb Thompson trying to take a peek inside. Looks like Thompson moves up the racetrack right there. That moves Adam Fulford into the top 5. This is Fulford's first super late model start of the season, trying to finish in the top 5. Up in front of him, Carter Russo hanging on to the 2nd spot right now. Brandon Elvis in the 54 gets around Brady Cox right there for the 7th position. Brandon Elvis has had a tough going here this evening. Had that spin on lap number 1, or lap number 2 rather. And it has not been good since then. I think he's been involved in just about every incident. Not really by his doing, but just has had nowhere to go at all. This time by lap number 48. We're watching the battle for the 2nd position. Brian Grable behind Carter Russo trying to find a way around the 21 machine. Grable right there in the 22. Trying to find a way around Carter Russo. This really gives you a good idea of what these drivers are seeing. Mark Keedeman this week mentioned potentially not running here at Southern National because it makes him dizzy. He gets a little bit nauseous at the end of this one. Can you see why, folks? This track is very quick, and both of the corners are very similar, but also a little bit different. They're very deceptive, especially that apron down at the bottom of the racetrack. It's not a very clearly painted white line, so you can't see it quite as well. And you could any other transition surface. If you hit that apron, it will shoot that car sideways, so you have to avoid that. Luckily, everybody's been able to do so far. We haven't really seen anybody hit that apron and lose the race car on the bottom. And the official report from Austin Godfrey in the number 1 machine, the force feedback on his steering wheel unfortunately went out. Brought that car down pit road after that one. We have 5 DNFs so far. A brutal race on the race cars tonight. We've gotten the halfway signal. We are 55 laps in, 45 to go. Mark Keedeman a 2-second advantage now in the number 2 machine. As we come back around to work lap number 57, we're going to take a quick step away, but you're not going to miss one thing as we'll go WD Broadcasting Network side by side. Be back in just a moment. Motorsports back here on the WD Broadcasting Network, and you guys have been watching the battle for the second position. Ryan Grable all over the back bumper of Carter Russo. These guys really needing a caution flag at this point in the race. We are 65 laps in. We'll have 35 to go when they get back around right here. And Keteman has shown the way from the get-go pretty much. He got around Tanner Bethea on one of those early restarts. And it has been Mark Keteman ever since. He could be on his way to his 6th win here this evening, but we've seen this film before. If you remember the first 2 weeks of the season, Keteman won. Sorry, Keteman did not win. Keteman looked like he was going to win in those first 2 weeks. And there were other plans by some other drivers. A little bit of contact on both occasions in turn 3. And Keteman ended up not winning either of those events. Finally got the monkey off of his back in week 3 at IRP. And since then, he has put on a tear. Last week, going into the All-Star race, he had a 4-race winning streak. And that's really saying something, because here in Lead the Pack, there's a rule that if you win 2 races in a row, the next race that you run, you will start from the rear. It's just to keep the spirit of competition up for all the drivers involved. That way everybody is not, one driver is not winning every single week. But Keteman, even starting from the back, drove that 2 machine to the front twice at Myrtle Beach and South Boston. Picked up his 4th and 5th victories this season. Lap number 70 on the board for Keteman. See him cross the line right there. Starting to reel in Jeremiah Woods Jr. He's already 2 laps down after that trouble early on. Still right there on the back bumper. This has been the battle to watch all race long, especially when we've gotten this green flag run. As the gap starting to close up a little bit. Keteman in the 2 machine. Slower that last time around. 1.5 seconds the gap now. It was up to about 2 seconds. Keteman lost it a little bit of ground a couple laps ago. Not sure what happened there, but the 21 machine has really got some pressure from Brian Grable now. It'll be 24 to go across the line that time. Keteman goes to the inside of Jeremiah Woods there. That'll put him a 3rd lap down. James Pileski still sitting in the 4th spot right there in the 93. Adam Fulford back behind, rounding out the top 5. Caleb Thompson sitting in the 6th position right now, and then it's Brandon Elvis in 7th behind him. And Brady Cox rounds out your lead lap competitors as he is ways back in the 8th position. He's right in front of your leader, Mark Keteman, who comes across the line to see 20 laps to go. The lead back out to about 2.2 seconds. Woods brings that 222 machine down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll bring it pit side with 19 laps to go. As Carter Russo still hanging on to that 2nd position. Keteman at this point in the race looks like he's got this one in the bag. We've got 18 more laps, and we could see a caution flag, but right now, with the way that this field is spread out, does not look like we are going to get one anytime soon. So we have 17 laps to go. Grable in the 22. He's got a victory this season. He's actually got 2 victories this season. Won the second race of the campaign at New Smyrna Speedway. Keteman led so many laps. Grable was able to swoop in after the contact between Russo and Keteman and pick up the victory. And then last week, first race of the night, him and Austin Godfrey battled for that win. And it was Brian Grable, the hometown boy, winning out of the 2. This time by 12 laps to go for Mark Keteman, who's now out to just about 3 seconds over Carter Russo. Brian Grable really having a hard time getting around that 22 machine. It looks like he's able to get right up to the back bumper, but just is not able to pull alongside. Grable running out of time if he wants to get into that second spot. He looks up on the outside lane here. He'll try to cross back to the bottom. Can't get that run up off the corner. Down the backstretch they go. 10 laps to go for Mark Keteman as he gets across the line. Sorry, 9 laps to go. Russo and Grable down the backstretch. Look at the 22 machine right there, all over the back bumper. As they work down into turns 1 and 2, you see Keteman putting Brady Cox 1 lap down there in the 76. This time by for Mark Keteman, 6 laps to go as he works into turns 3 and 4. It'll be 5 laps to go for the number 2. On his way to his 6th victory of the season in race number 9. It's been a dominant season for the number 2 machine. He won the last race that we ran at Nashville, the second race of the All-Star night. But if he picks up the victory here at Southern National, he's going to have to start next week at USA from the rear. And USA is a pretty fun track, but sometimes it can be tough to pass at. We've only got 75 laps of action there. It's going to be a quick race. We'll see if Keteman can do it coming from the back as we've got 2 laps to go here for the number 2 machine. As he works down into turns 3 and 4. White flag is out. The final time around for Mark Keteman. Down the backstretch he goes. He's got a 3.1 second advantage over Carter Russo. And up and out of turns 3 and 4, it's going to be Mark Keteman winning at Southern National. Carter Russo comes home 2nd, Brian Grable 3rd, James Pileski 4th, Adam Fulford 5th, Caleb Thompson 6th, and Brandon Elvis 7th, the final car on the lead lap. Brady Cox comes home 8th, Jeremiah Woods Jr. 9th, Austin Godfrey 10th, Brandon Kelly 11th, Tanner Bethea 12th, Chris Smith 13th, Logan Drumheller 14th, and Zach Murphy 15th, rounding out your field. We're going to take a quick step away one more time before we wrap things up and grab a word from our top 3 finishers. Be right back on the WD Broadcasting Network.
Baker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line here.
Alrighty, folks, we're back here on the WD Broadcasting Network. Going to grab a quick word from our top 3 finishers here tonight. Starting with our third place finisher, Brian Gravel. Brian Gravel up in the broadcast booth for the second time here this evening. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, ended up in the third spot here tonight. You were all over the back bumper of Carter Russo, just didn't have enough there to get around the 21 machine.
Yeah, you know, I felt like I was definitely faster than him. I just couldn't. He kept making a couple mistakes. I kept making some too, and I just found where I could keep pressure on him, hoping he'd make a mistake. And if he made another one, I was going to get past him. And I just knew it was too late to get to Keatman, but I feel like if I could have got up to second sooner, I definitely could have had a shot at Keatman because my car really, really felt good. I found out what I needed to do to stop getting so snappy loose, and it was all good from there. But, you know, I'll take my P3 for tonight. 100 laps around this place was pretty tiring, but pretty good race.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race once we got those cautions out of the way at the beginning. You guys went green for quite some time at the end of that one, but nonetheless, third place here tonight. Who do you got to thank for another podium?
I got to thank Napa Auto Parts, Oliver Motorsports, Champs Auto Care, Scrub Out Cancer, and I'd like to thank my mom and dad. I'd like to thank you for putting all this on, and you know, it's a pretty good race, so I'm pretty happy with it. So on to next week.
Yes, next week in the Super Series, we head to the USA International Speedway. How do you feel about your chances heading into the biggest track on our schedule?
I feel really good, man. I'm really good at them tracks like that. Hoping to be able to get another win there, you know. I'm kind of out of the points for all the seasons because I've missed a couple weeks due to some personal reasons, but, you know, I really want to try to do my best and secure top 3 in points. So I'm just going to go out there and try to win it and see what I can do towards the end of the schedule as we're getting near it.
Yeah, things are definitely starting to wind down. We got past that halfway point, and it feels like things are really picking up. We're getting closer to those final couple events. Hopefully you can get one more win, at least in the Super Series. But nonetheless, congratulations to you, Brian, on a third place run here tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, now to talk to our second place finisher, Carter Russo. We'll see if we can't get him up into the broadcast booth. Carter Russo up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, full, bro.
Alrighty, well, second place run here tonight at the Southern National Motorsports Park. You had Brian Gravel on your back bumper in your mirror for the entire back half of that race. You kept him behind, but Keateman was about 3 seconds in front. How do you feel about your second place run here tonight?
Yeah, man, it was just good to finish on the podium again. I knew this place just tears up tires. I was trying to conserve. Me and Gravy were racing pretty good, just trying to hold each other off, and I knew that if we got a late race caution, my tires were going to be killed if I didn't try to save anything. So that's why I was waiting on. We never got it, which I'm not mad about. So good win for Mark. Finished 1, 2, 3. So it's a great run.
Yeah, it was definitely a good run for the K-Cars Race Cars team here this evening. Who do you have to thank for a return to the podium here in the Lead the Pack Super Series?
K-Car Race Cars with Mark Keatman, Biggs and Watson Towing, Volt Doctors, Justin Bush for the scheme, you for putting this on, and just everybody that makes this possible.
Alrighty, Carter, well, good to see you back up on the podium here in the Super Division. Hopefully we can see you back in victory lane sometime soon, but nonetheless, congratulations to you on your second place run here tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now to talk to our winner here tonight, Mark Keateman. Mark Keateman up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Alrighty, well, earlier this week, you mentioned maybe I won't run Southern National, because I think you might have said it made you dizzy, made you nauseous. One of those two things. That one might have made you nauseous. We had a long green flag run there at the end. That couldn't have helped.
Yeah, no, about 20 to go. My eyes, I'm like, man, this is getting rough. It's like, I just need this to hurry up and get over. Please, God, don't have a caution. And luckily, everybody else that finished in the race there kept it clean and green, and we were able to come home in the first place there.
Now, I got to ask you, Mark, this past weekend, we ran the 24 hours of Daytona. Would you say that this was worse than the 24 hours, or was the 24 hours a little bit more enduring?
Oof. Well, I'll be honest with you. I hate to sound cocky or anything, but this race was kind of easy, to be honest with you. I mean, I think Carter just kind of babied it too long. Like, I think if he would have drove off with me or pushed a little bit more and would have been, closer to me, I think the race would have probably been a different story. But I got out there a little while and I just started kind of riding around because I didn't want to see a late race caution and be, caught off guard with the, worn out tires. So I just kind of rode, but I don't know, that 24 hours was pretty rough and I hate this track. So I don't know. It's a 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, definitely can be tough here at Southern National. It's so hard to go down in the corner trying to get as close to that apron as possible without clipping it, and then also not spinning off the corner. And everything's happening so fast that it makes it a very tough lap. And luckily, everybody was able to keep it in the right direction there at the end, and you guys were able to finish many laps green there. But who do you have to thank, Mark, for win number 6 on the year or season?
Got to thank K-Cars, Race Cars, RKM Setup Shop, Friesen Performance, Topsoil Landscapes, Justin Brooks Designs, Clive Power Equipment. Got to thank all my friends and family that watch this. I want to give a shout out to my dad, especially. Today's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Pops. I hope you see this sometime soon. He's a little under the weather today, unfortunately, so I hope he starts feeling better. And gotta thank you and Wade and everybody that puts this deal on for us.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Mark, we've got USA next week, the longest track on our schedule. You are going to have to start from the rear as you've won 2 in a row now. You know the drill. You've done it twice before. What can you do to drive that 2 machine through the field and win again?
Hopefully just keep it clean. The last races that I had to start at the back and come up from, Nashville being the exception, I think I waited around too long in the first race to really be in contention there, even though we finished third. But just got to keep it clean, at least manage the tires for a little while till, the laps start winding down and you can get a good idea of how hard you can push the car and see how many spots you can make up. So we'll just have to see what it brings us. We had a decent amount of cars tonight. I think there was maybe some big wrecks back there. So hopefully we won't see that next week since USA is a free track and it's kind of more spaced out, so it'll be a little bit more room to race. So I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely should be a pretty good show next week at USA. But nonetheless, Mark, congratulations to you on win number 6 of the season here in the Leave the Pack Super Series, and we wish you luck going forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. All right, that was Mark Keedeman, your winner here tonight. We'll get the results up on screen one more time so you guys can see your finishing order. You might want to look at the race results there. There we go. Got the right thing up on screen. Keedeman, your winner, obviously, like we talked about. Russo second. Brian Grable third. James Pileski fourth. Adam Fulford rounds out your top 5. Caleb Thompson comes home 6th. Brandon Elvis, the final finisher on the lead lap in the 7th spot. Brady Cox 1 lap down in 8th, and you see all of the DNFs on the bottom of your screen. A very, very chaotic race at the beginning here this evening. Luckily, we got some green flag laps in there at the end, but nonetheless, thank you guys for watching here on the WD Broadcasting Network tonight. If you missed the street stock race earlier on, I would highly recommend going back and checking that video out. It was a heck of a race. 50 laps green over there. But that's going to do it for us here at Southern National. Make sure you guys tune in next week on the WD Broadcasting Network. And follow Leave the Pack on Facebook as well. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching one more time. I am your host, Winston Deal from the WD Broadcasting Network, signing it off. Peace out.